2005 is kind of a little bit of an end for me. A lot of people talk about music genres in cycles of 10 years, but I think the frenetic pace of jungle music has allowed it to really develop so quickly that we actually have something to say after 5 years. From when Bam Bam and Noise Check Remix came out all the way till now, it's been this complete renaissance and revolution all rolled into one. So what I want to do for 2006 is at the same time look back at what worked, what didn't work, is apply that so that we can have, you know, a progressive next 5 years, so we're not staying in the same place. It's not about really just fortifying relationships, it's always continuing to be on the vanguard and looking for the new blood opportunities, the fresh turf, where the unconverted are, you know, and some people are, you know, I've got 5 years to look back, and as a distributor also, I can see what the producers are doing, and I can relate sales and strategies and, you know, compositional styles, and, you know, I can see who's kind of leading the way, and these are the people that I want to get behind, people that are still continuing to take the chances and really like paying for their plane ticket to go over to Europe and just see that other world out there, because it's monstrous. So for 2006, Jungle X is going to move into publishing and agency, really trying to help the artists exploit what it is that they do. That's the live shows and the vinyls and the CDs. And something that I've been like sowing seeds on for years is just encouraging young producers to pay their singers and really take it to the next level, because vinyl is a promotional tool. People need to realize it's not about making money, it's about promoting your sound, yourself as a producer, your singers, and just the whole genre in itself. So trying to live off them is quite a challenge. But when you do pay singers and you do work on your artist career dossier, what you end up having is a marketable product called a CD, an artist album. And this is what I want to see guys like Debaser, 16 Arm Jack, The Mighty Tester, R.Cola come out with these artist albums that really show the diversity within the artist. It's hard to compare an artist for artist on a 12 dub-fi-dub style mixing, which is what we do. But when you put it all on the album, you can hear some of those breakbeat tracks, so that grime track that you never would hear them play live, or some, you know, there's room for you to have a lot to say and all the time in the world to say it, so you can be comfortable there. And this has got to happen for Jungle if it wants to get out of the ghetto. We've got our street cred intact. We don't need to prove that point anymore. We don't need to clash anymore. What we need to do is try to get on the radio and try to reach those people that are looking over the fence and hearing something. But what is it? Finding the people who can play 10 shows in 3 weeks and do them well and really go on that mission. That's what the agency is looking for, and we're going to try to offer a service that puts the buyers, the kids over there, in touch with the artists that can deliver. Because not everyone can tour, not everyone can produce, not everyone can DJ. So the few that can wear all those hats at one, I'm going to look to sign them and go out and find a proper set of shows that's going to showcase them to an audience that is supportive but maybe fresh, new, you know, the new blood. It's all about the new for me. And I want to work on a book. A lot of people are documenting our scene, and I want to collect as much of this documentation into a printed form, because I want to start to insert that into the records, little magazines. I have this great thing that we've created, this vinyl network in Europe and in North America. These kids are buying the records, and the records you can insert flyers into them, and I've been testing it out with some of my flyers, and the responses are coming in, the emails are coming in, they're answering the flyers. So I want to start to put editorial content in there and give people a little bit of background, so they're not coming up to me in the club saying, hey, I thought you would be black. You know, like, they need to know, they want to know, they're hungry, and really part of our game is to provide that knowledge. You know, it's not just the tunes on the vinyls. These kids want it all, man. They want to know all about us. As it pertains to the music, they really want to dig in, so I think trying to organize that a little bit and put a cohesiveness to it is only going to help our scene grow. Because there's still a lot of growth out there. I think we can sell 2,000 vinyls regularly per title. Right now we've crossed the 1,000 threshold. It's a beautiful place to be, but imagine doubling that. There's still Eastern Europe to fortify, and, you know, we're not in England. We're not. We're a drop in the bucket compared to a bunch of mediocre stuff that's out selling us, you know, 5 to 1, 10 to 1. So the war is not over, I understand, but I've adopted less of a military approach and more of a diplomacy. I really want to get in those places I shouldn't be in. I want to get behind there, spy in the house of love style, come in, play something that is not going to offend these listeners, but hopefully maybe spark an interest and at least get that ball rolling towards us, because we need more. The more people we have buying the music on vinyl, the more people playing it to these kids, which means the more kids out there who will be willing to buy a CD or go to a show, see the poster, know the artist name, know, r.cola. I've seen that name 5 times in 3 years. The 6th time I'm going to go to the show. Everybody needs to get there. And right now, that's the minority of the raga junglists in North America who are, assuming a place of kind of like a Don, but in reality, we're still all a bunch of unknowns or barely knowns. So we really need to push forward in that aspect. Getting more professional, getting more organized, really using the network for what it's worth. It started with a list, man, of emails, and look where it's gone. Now we've got a forum that's one of the most heavily trafficked forums for our genre, and the biggest one for our subgenre. And this just goes to show there's a world, like jungle is a global sound. It's not big and upfront. It's connected though. It's really well connected. I know Massive in Australia. I know a Japanese Massive. I know the Czechs, the Scandinavian Massive. And the internet is opening up these causeways for us to funnel product through and organize shows and stuff. And we really need to continue to push that and make sure that even if we only got a 500-person market in Berlin, that we're saturating that 500-person. We're reaching every one of those junglists. We owe it to the Jungle Massive to stay true to the credo of all massive. All races, all languages, all currencies, all time zones need to be saturated because they're hungry for it, man. 3 years ago, they bought 15 new releases from North America. 2 years ago, they bought 30. Last year, they bought 50. This year, they bought 70. Next year, it will be 100. It has to be, because this doesn't even compare to the 1,000 that came out in London, drum and bass. Like, let's be that 10% crew, but strong and focused, and it'll only help to add more fire, and keep people inspired. Because some people are kind of on the verge of, I'm gonna try this style now. Reggae Jungle hasn't really got me blinged out yet. It's a lot of things to a lot of people, but we still haven't managed to reach all of them. I still see a few record bags that don't have the Jungle X catalog in it. Those are the kids I want to meet, And they're hungry for it, man. I get a lot of emails, too, that I can't even translate. They're in other languages. So the war is not over yet. The war is not over.